look forward to hearing from the witnesses, and I'll be very, very brief. But I do think it merits for us to look for a moment to how we got here, because a lot can be said about the lack of regulation. And I want to associate myself with the comments, excellent comments from Senator Dole. I can't help but have a sense that a lot of what has transpired here, a lot of what we're dealing with today, has its origins in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And as we look at that and we try to deal with the current problem, we cannot help but also look back. We have not looked back enough to know how Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac got the entire financial world in the mess that we're in today. One of the problems is that it did not have a world-class regulator. And I know it's real popular today and easy to do to just beat up on the administration and blame everything from tsunamis to hurricanes on them. But having been a part of this administration and having come to this Congress and before this very committee to testify in 2003, along with then Secretary of Treasury Snow, to ask for stronger regulation over Fannie and Freddie, to have a world-class regulator, I find it just a little troubling to just exactly overlook and not pay some attention to how we got here. And I do want to recall also Chairman Greenspan's comments in 2005 before this committee, where he said that if Fannie and Freddie continue to grow, continue to have the low capital that they have, continue to engage in the dynamic hedging of their portfolio, which they need to do for interest rate aversion, they potentially create ever-growing potential systemic risk down the road. And that is where we are today, systemic risk. So that is just a little bit on how we got here, where I think we need to, Director Lockhart, I hope we're going to drill down and find out a lot more about how Fannie and Freddie got us here. But beyond that, we need to do what we need to do now. We need in the long term to also deal with a complete revamping of our regulatory scheme of our financial institutions. But that will come in the future. For now, I believe we're saddled with a problem that needs and requires action. That action needs to be thoughtful but timely. We need to talk about oversight. We need to talk about the size of this fund and whether it will work or not. But it does appear to me that there are also some questions that we need to have answered, which is if the underlying problem regarding this entire matter has to do with the ever-declining home values, what are we doing here that will help to stem that declining home values? It seems to me, when we look at the state of Florida, that it's about a tremendous inventory of unsold properties as well as the availability of credit. Hopefully what we're doing here may help with the availability of credit, but certainly that tremendous inventory is something that I think we also need to address. So I look forward to hearing the testimony from the witnesses, having many questions answered, but at the end of the day, I do believe that it is our responsibility to ask, to act timely and to act responsibly, but yet to act. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.